Hi guys, I'm at physio today, so shop. Let's put that like that. There's my physio. Yeah, so the same people, I'm a lot easier today. I can move, at least I can move around, it's not painful.
Okay.
This side is not killing me. But,
So I'm still not going to do...
I don't know if you can, because it's sore here. But it's a healing.
Actually fine. No, I'll work on that myself.
Not too much. It's just,
Yeah.
I think it's just a healing pain.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And obviously the calves and then the shoulders.
And your feet, how do they feel?
They're a lot better.
And the tape?
I had that last week one day.
Which is fine. Was it okay?
Then I went, it was 150 rand for I was going to try my pocket up the money now.
So look, can I stick some money again today?
Yeah.
If it only lasts a day, that's fine.
At least it helps, yeah.
But yeah, that's a little bit extra. Alright, give me 2 ticks, I'm going to wash my hands.
Here's what?
Is Pascal...
Yeah, she arrived safely yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Try to put it in front here so it doesn't fall over. There we go. That's better. Like that. That's it. That's it.
I've got tons of stuff.
Yeah, so she flew Ethiopian Airlines.
Did she?
Yeah. So the Sunday had the crash. The Sunday had the crash. So I heard about it in the afternoon. The crash. It's up, but Lodges. No
Because she
worries.
flew Monday.
She flew Monday morning. And like afternoon, so we were panicking. So Rowena found her. She was hitting the roof. So then I went online. All my friends said, Kevin, it's not the airline, it's the airplane.
Yeah.
She said, don't stress. You know? So, but I knew. So when we got to the airport, there were like 5 people.
Everyone cancelled.
Everyone cancelled. So she had a whole plane to herself. So when she arrived in Addis Ababa, she got another plane to London. She said there were a lot more passengers, but she still had a whole road to herself. So then she arrived in London, and now she smuggled biltong through and Triforce. So Rowena phoned me.
You know, all of this is being recorded.
Yes, I know that. So Rowena says to me, something's wrong with Pascal, she's stuck in customs. I said, oh my gosh, they've got the biltong, you see. So I said, have they fined her? She said, yes, they fined her. So I phoned her, I want to talk to her. She said, no, I don't know if they fined her. I said, you just said, yes, they fined her. So then by that time I get an SMS, I'm in the Uber. So I said, can I phone you back? So I phoned Pascal. She says, no, I was filling forms in at the airport. Mom phones me when I'm busy filling forms. I said, Mom, I'm busy, I've got to sort my life out right now. So she took it incorrectly, thinking that she's in shit, yeah. So anyway, so Pascal got on the airport, the bus, and she went home to Wimbledon. She said, Dad, I'm home. I said, that's great. So she slept all afternoon yesterday. She has today off. She only starts work tomorrow.
Okay.
But now she's broke, unfortunately. She's got no money because she hasn't been paid for 3 weeks. Got paid for 3 weeks.
And is she feeling a bit better?
Well, yeah, she's on those tablets now. Sorry, she's on those tablets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put on Marianne, which is Prozac.
Okay.
So she's fine. She'll be fine.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Actually, I meant to say, please say goodbye and all that.
I'm gonna start scratching again. I wanted to start today. Again, but I just couldn't wake up in time.
It's actually a bit better.
That is better. It's not as painful. I don't know what you did here, but obviously the pain is not so bad. The side is nothing.
I'm actually going to start there today.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, so it's been a traumatic week. Pascal's been crying all the time.
No.
Oh, at the airport she burst into tears.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So I don't know if I should leave. As soon as I've sold everything, get my passport, then I must go. Or should I wait a couple of months? I don't know. It's up to God. That's my bottom line. Just if the steps of a righteous man are ordered of the Lord.
Starting my oil, okay?
Okay. I thought you prayed for me. So I was going to see. So I'm waiting for the invitation to Pretoria. Then once I get that, then I've got to pay for the passport. And once I've got the passport, then I can. But what I think I'm going to do is next week I'm going to go to phone this company that take your stuff. Say, come and get all my stuff.
Yes, you said the ferries or something.
Clutter ferries or declutter ferries. I'm going to phone them, but there's 2 I found now. So I said, come and get the stuff and just sell it for me.
Yeah.
So at least the house is empty. So I'll just have the bedrooms, the 2 bedrooms, my bedroom and this little girl that moved But the problem is that if this girl moves in like that, I've got to move out. I feel so bad. But we'll see that. One step at a time.
And the timeline, what are you looking at?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I have no
So it
idea.
remains to be
Yeah.
seen.
I've got a guy who wants to buy my business for 250,000.
Yes,
So
you
up to the
said.
money now. So Pascal said no, they want to meet me, so I've got to meet him. So I don't know. It's like, but once I've got the passport, then I can say, okay, let's sit down and talk.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to pay with money, because my brother said I can live with him for a while, so that's fine. But that's not exactly optimal.
Yeah, when you said last week, you were so keen.
And I was thinking about Dubai. It's so
Yes.
beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because I've checked out how much you need to have a decent life in Dubai. You've got to make at least $100,000 a month. I mean, not sorry, not 100,000, $10,000 a month.
Oh, okay.
It's 100,000 rand.
Yes, that's a lot.
And that's a lot of money.
I know,
Do you
like
have-
the way we think about rent,
Yeah.
I think so.
But then again, your rent is pretty standard. It's like the gym, because you get a monthly ticket for, I think it's 1,000 rand. And then you get your food's not that expensive, but if you have a decent life, like going to movies, going to clubs, and so I thought, oh, well, I don't do all that rubbish, you know. So I just need internet, which is quite expensive. Internet's
is it?
internet's like 2,500 rand a month. So,
I thought we were the worst with that.
I don't know why, but maybe because all the migrants, I don't know. Because I was doing a whole tech costing this morning to see.
I think our mobile data is
It's very
definitely
we are very expensive.
Okay.
But I was thinking to myself, maybe I can live in Dubai for 3 months of the year. If this can bring me a couple of £1,000 a month at each channel, then I'll be well off, you know.
Sure. And are you worried about this?
With what purpose? With what?
Like that you need to be near her?
No, but I think she needs to be near me. She's made it very clear. She said because Dad's so far away. You know, she said to someone the other day, she said, oh, to a doctor, she said before, whenever there was a problem, Dad's a phone call away, just around the corner. She said now Dad's 12 hours away, you know. And I actually thought, oh wow, okay.
Yeah. If not actually a whole day.
So I said to Rowena, do you want to move with me to London?
Yes,
She didn't answer me. So the next day, I said, I've got to find a girlfriend. She said, but you did ask me. I said, but you said no. She said, I didn't say no, I kept quiet. I said, well, I wanted to ask. She said, I don't know. I said, well, I need to know because I didn't get a girlfriend then, you know, to move with me to London and America and Dubai and travel the world. She just laughed, she just smiled, you know. I said, because I want to be alone all these trips. I want a partner, you know.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a girlfriend, but just somebody to be with me. Yeah, companion. That's it.
Okay.
I mean, there are plenty of women that would jump at the offer to be with me, you know. Just
And
to
go travel the world.
travel the world, yeah. As long as I can afford it.
Do you think she'll still give you an answer?
I'm not gonna push for it, you know. It's just an option because I know she wants to be near Pascal, you know. First of all, she won't get papers to go live in England.
She won't.
No, because she doesn't qualify. And as a spouse,
You have to marry her.
exactly, and I don't want to do that.
Okay.
Even then, as a spouse, you want to put like 300,000 rand down. Yeah, because you can't not let her work, so she's got to have subsidy. So what she can do is get a visa, and then she can visit there for like 4 or 5 months of the year. So we can do that, you know. Then come back to England, South Africa, live here for 5 months, and go back there for 6 months, whatever. She can do that every couple of months, you know. Because she's still got the 2 boys here.
Okay.
And then when Alec decides to move overseas, then he can apply for his mother. By that time, she'll be about 62, 63.
Will Alec move?
He says he doesn't want to,
Okay.
but I don't think it's up to him. I think first of all, she's going to say the climate's very bad.
She, the doctor.
She's British.
Oh, they're in.
Yeah,
in
in Cape Town. Yeah, in Cape Town. Oh, Durban. That's right.
Oh,
Durban. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Alec's got a very good job, but he says his company doesn't have an office in London. They have an office in Dubai.
I'm not weird.
Yeah. So anyway, but now Ella, I know because after that she's going to the family. I know it for sure. And it's not making it more difficult for whites. I read this morning an article that the police are going to start enforcing removal of properties, whites off properties, because they're going to change the constitution. I mean, no one cares about white settlement. I mean, they've tried Australia, New Zealand, England, and America, and all 4 countries have said it's your own problem, deal with it. But if we're a Muslim, they open our doors to them, you know? So Australia, they're trying to get us in. New Zealand, they're trying. England is trying, and America's trying. But they've got to go to the Congress, and they're all saying No, that's not. They brought it upon themselves, those racists. But not to say all whites voted National Party, you know.
Yeah. Sure. I guess it's just like the way of the world these days. So much is in the air, and we actually just have to wait and see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I really believe that the world is Jesus come back within 5 years. That's my opinion. So you see my passport, see, now in order, before I become a British citizen, I have to either retain my South African citizenship, or the second I become a British citizen, I lose my South African passport, my South African citizenship.
Okay.
Because you cannot become two unless you apply.
Passport along with it.
So now the problem is, yeah, but how are they going to know? Exactly.
How this stuff works.
So if my passport expires in 2028, they're not going to know if I'm still a South African citizen or a subject. Because I'm going to a British consulate to swear an oath to the Queen and become a British. They won't know. Unless this video goes live.
That's what I said.
They won't know.
You might have to scrub over
Yeah, that is the one, yeah, that's the one,
this
yeah.
one as well. Oh dear.
But they're not that bright. Our government is not bright, so they don't know when people leave the country. Okay, the computer does. But I mean,
Yeah, I don't know how this stuff works.
you know, I told you my cousin was arrested there because he had an outstanding warrant for like 15 years ago. So when he wanted to go to England, was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago? He wanted to go to America for a holiday. And they caught him at the airport, said there's a warrant for your arrest. They arrested him straight away. Yeah, we had to wait for lawyers in the middle of the night to get him out of jail. And they wouldn't give us out of jail.
And
So
he didn't go overseas.
he couldn't go, yeah. Until there was a jail until they wouldn't give him bail. So we had to sort out, there was 3 warrants out for his arrest. So we had to sort out all 3, go to jail and get sentenced, and then he could fly. But he didn't because he couldn't because he was scared. Yeah, so if I become a citizen, British citizen, I'm sure I can still myself with a passport.
I don't know.
And I was telling Pascal, yesterday, and Pascal, I said, you know, I really don't want to leave South Africa. I said, I think when the millennium comes, I'm going to ask God to come back to South Africa. I want to rule a reindeer. Give me Randburg, Lord, give me Randburg.
How funny.
I'm on this website on Facebook called Immigrating to the UK. It's still the friendliest groups I've ever seen in my life. People are so friendly. They give advice, they talk.
Yeah.
Everyone just gives you advice. National insurance is number 1. Then it's your schooling. Then it's how much money do you think will be decent to earn. And then which airline do you think is the best to travel? And there's citizenship. And all these questions get asked all the time by people on board. You know? And this is one guy on the online. His name is Angus McDougall or something. And he seems to know a lot.
He's South African.
I think it's, but I think he lives in
Angus McDougall.
yeah, but I think he lives in the UK. I'm not too sure where he lives. But because I know he was anti-Brexit because I saw his Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
But he was, people ask questions and he says, no, that's against the law. And he's very clued up on this whole immigration. Like he said to me, Kevin, don't worry, you'll get your passport. I said, okay, thank you.
Okay.
Ah, that's so.
And you don't have an idea of the timeline of.
Well, it's been approved. So I should be getting the invitation to Victoria
Okay.
any day.
Okay.
And once that is done, I get the certificate to become a citizen.
Okay.
Then I apply for a passport and that takes a month. So by April, May, I could have my passport.
And then it's just up to you to
It's up to me
decide.
to decide where to go, yeah. And see, the problem is my lease expires end of April. Now I have been a bad payer of rent because it's been so tough, you see. So, and also, I don't think she wants an empty house for selling for 5 because it's 13,000 rand above rent, you know. Yeah.
So much.
You know. So I pay, but probably about the 15th of the month I pay the rent. Okay. So today's the 12th. I've only paid half of it. I've only paid half of the rent yesterday
Yeah.
because Pascal took all my money.
Oh, shame, Kevin. I mean, there are definitely cheaper places around.
But I haven't got a deposit now, and all that. See, I haven't got all that
yeah.
to move, and if I want to stay, tie another lease up for
So,
a year.
just moving your
Yeah.
stuff costs.
So I just want to get. That's why I want this place to take all my stuff, and then if I'm there 3-4 months, and she's okay, go through month to month, then I'm fine. Then I'll just tell this young girl, listen, we've got 4 months to make it out of here, you know, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I've just been watching this video about this guy, young guy, who travels the world with no money. Like I said, Dubai for 3 days with no money. And one of his rules is that he's got like, I think, 50,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And he says he cannot sleep with over 8 subscribers. So he went to Dubai and he had a lot of people who said, I can't sleep. I said, I'm not allowed to sleep. Just sleep on the beach. And then he tries to keep free food. And it's quite an intelligent, it's quite an enjoyable program, like 3 hours. And I thought, man, Dubai looks so nice. And he was there in January. So I said, this is definitely better than the UK in January. So I thought, yes, I could live in Dubai for like November, December, January.
Because that's their winter.
Exactly, well, yeah. And he said the temperature is perfect. He said, I would never try this in the summer because it's too hot. Like 50 degrees, you said.
I think you'd die if
Yeah.
you were out there.
So I'm thinking, maybe I should try and continue for 3 months of the year. If money allowing, of course.
Cool.
So it'd be nice to live like a rich man, live in hotels.
But actually, like Pascal's plan was starting in the UK and then branch from there. So
Yeah, well,
it's
she
not a
would-
bad idea for you.
Yeah, but she wants to. She's nervous of getting a job there. That's the problem. And I said, but darling, you've got to start at the bottom. So she said that she will definitely make a plan, but she's got to get the brain sorted out, the medication. That she need to stop the negative thoughts, you know. And she's not good enough. I said, nobody's good enough when they first start a job. I said, you've got to work your way in. I said, the difference between the UK and South Africa is that South Africa, you get a job, you do everything around that job. In the UK, they say sweep the floor. That's all you do is sweep the floor. You cannot wipe the tables. And if you wipe the tables, you lose your job. That's not your job. You know, you only sweep the floor. Right? But then I say, build a set. That's all you do is build a set, you know?
Yeah. Oh, shame. That, I mean, I know we've like spoken about this before also, but I sometimes wonder if that isn't how we fail the millennials, is that there's this expectation that you're already fabulous and you're already fine
Yes.
and you're
Yes.
really
We have to, I
you've got
believe
it
that.
all. But you still need to just gain that
Grow enough, yeah.
experience.
Yeah, I think that is my problem with Pascal, because with Alec and Tyron, I wasn't the softie. You know, I pushed them hard because they were boys. And I think my mistake was, Pascal, you can do anything you set your mind to, you know. Don't worry about negative.
But that's not true.
Yeah, but to a point. I don't think if you fall for 4, you can't become a basketball player, you know. So, I mean, if you can't sing, you can't sing. If you can't act, you can't act, you know.
Yeah.
Now, Pascal has a good voice. She's not fantastic, but she has a good voice. She does marketing, you know. And I've never really seen her acting skills. I think acting is also, it gains with experience, you know. So if she wants to do that line, but production design, she's excelled. She's done very well at production design. Oh, that's really cool.
It's definitely better than last week.
Yeah, I can feel it's better, much better, but not as bad, but it's still sore. Oh. The difference is I think she's earning £7 an hour now. Well, if she goes into that field, she earns £20 an hour. Because she's worried about accommodation. That's she's worried about. How am I going to afford to pay rent? I said, well, your salary will easily cover that, you know. So I said to her,
Because she's not paying for it.
no. Well, she does, it comes off her salary. I think it's
Okay.
£200 a month,
Okay.
which is nothing.
It's
Normal rent is like £800 a month.
Okay.
So they take it off her salary. So I said to her, I'll see if I can get a job. When I arrive there, I can work there, get a room as well. No, Dad. I thought that would be fun to meet people. No, Dad, you're too old.
Oh, shame. I suppose we all figure it out in the end.
Yeah. I said to Pascal, you know, the only thing that's kept me going is my faith in God. I said, although you say you're a Christian, you don't have that intimate knowledge of God that I have. You know, you need to get to the point where you ask God for direction, you ask God for help, you ask God for guidance. So you don't do that. You look to your own self for guidance and God. I always pray, say, God, what do I do here? Well, help me here. You know, even if I'm unsure, I say, God, I'm unsure. You know, I say, you don't do that. So you need to get to the point where God is your source. I must give you this new series when it comes out. It comes out Thursday. My pastor is good news, Jim Richards. I think I gave you some before. I'm not even sure if I gave you before.
I think you've mentioned him.
But Jim Richards got this new teaching about the kingdom of God,
Yes.
which is my most favorite topic. So it comes out tomorrow. But he said this last week. I said, what? This is this. when you get born again, do you automatically enter the kingdom of God?
Absolutely.
No, you don't. Because you've got to change the mind. The renewing of the mind lets you enter into the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is basically the Garden of Eden. Where all things are provided. All your needs are provided. So if your needs aren't provided and you're struggling, you haven't entered into the kingdom of God, which is our rightful place on earth. So the whole teaching, I think it's about 4 or 5 weeks, is going to how to enter into the kingdom of God. Because the kingdom of God is righteousness, peace, and joy. No, we've got the righteousness, but I don't have the peace, and I don't have the joy. That's what's going to be painful.
Oh, shame. Yeah, you said that last week too.
I must give it to you when it's done.
Okay.
I can't remember all the John Richard's teachings. Like if you have to put them hour and hour, it's like a month's supply of teachings. So I said to him, no, I haven't had time. I said, what do you mean about no time?
Shame. No, I get that. Because sometimes you have an hour, but the hour, your mind's actually in a different place.
Okay.
And you...
Yeah, I'm not with you. She also looks after the boy, the grandchildren sometimes.
Shame. Is she alright otherwise?
I think she's fine.
Okay.
She has to go for a mammogram. She thinks she's got boob cancer.
Oh, shucks.
And for a mammogram, but the boys have to pay, you know.
Oh, shame, man.
I said, well, that's all they pay for. Big deal.
Oh, shame,
I said,
man.
Pascal.
What was
So,
much?
but the nice thing she came and she said to Pascal, she had like, I think she had 85 pounds or 65 pounds, I mean dollars. And she gave it to Pascal. I thought, okay, that's great. But do you realize what I've given her? So, because Pascal had no money, see. So she gave her the 65 pounds, the dollars, which obviously will help Pascal for a couple of days. She gets paid on Friday, but I think she only gets paid a week. Because she only had a week's work before she came here. I said, Pascal, that's when you call on God to guide you and help you. Because he always does. I said, you know how many times I've been broken, God has always come through.
Yeah. Shame.
Oof, that's sorry. Oof.
Sorry.
I mustn't apologize. You're doing your job. So this left shoulder's been paining me now. So I went to Leon, by the way, the chemist, for the injections again, because I wanted the injections before we went to the chemist. I mean, before she went overseas, she wanted another vitamin B injection.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Leon was there. What a lovely guy. There's like 30 people waiting to go behind us. And I said, my shoulder's painful. Can you give me a Voltaren injection? He picks up the syringe. The son. So Pascal just killed herself laughing. So he gives me the injection first. And he gives Pascal the injection. He says, I don't think you're related. She said, why? He said, because your dad's got a hairy bum. So anyway, he's telling us for 20 minutes how he bought the chemist.
And it's the one at Northlands.
Opposite Decker Park, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So he's telling us about how he bought the chemist. And I'm worried about the people outside.
But he's chatting.
He's dancing away. So anyway, the 2 vitamin B injections plus the 1 Voltaren is $50.
Wow. Nice.
So, but he does this drip now. They do a drip.
The vitamin.
A vitamin drip
Yeah.
with all I'll tell you what the ingredients are, I don't know if you know them.
No, I think I've heard about it.
And he said that people come up once a week for this. So I told the guy, Jim, because I took a photograph of him, and I edited it, but he wants to do, before he does the race, he wants, because
Okay.
they get the sportsman strip. And I thought, wow, and it's like $300. It gives you all the vitamins that last about a week. And it sorts out the brain fog, all the kind of rubbish.
Yeah.
So I thought, let me try and see if I can afford to do that. Ow! You know, I'm not paying my bills at all, right?
No.
I'm just paying the rent, the car, the petrol,
Yeah.
my credit card, my food, and obviously you. So I'm not paying the debit orders or anything else. I said that they can sue me in England. You could take it to the bank.
You are in there.
This is my face here.
So good. Can they do anything when you're there?
They can try. But I'm broke. I'm broke. And my car, I don't think I have to drive with my car if I rent, otherwise they can kick me out when they take the car away.
Yeah.
So my lawyer said, Kevin, that's the only 2 things that He said, just don't answer the phone, don't answer the email. He says, the only time we talk to them when they come to your door and they serve you papers. Then we tell them, okay, we'll meet them in court. So then I go to, because I went to Pretoria last time,
Yeah.
and I had to say, okay, we'll meet you in court. They didn't meet you up.
Really?
Because they don't want to go to court.
Oh.
Do you know why?
Because it costs more.
No, because the judge will say, how much can you afford?
Oh.
200 Rand a month. Done. They don't want to. So now they said to me, we'll give you 75% discount
On?
the bill I owe them.
Oh. Who's that?
It's at F&B.
Oh, okay.
Now I got one from Standard Bank because the F&B is Pascal's student loan, and Standard Bank is also Pascal's student loan.
Okay.
So Standard Bank also said the same thing. They said, okay, we'll give you 50% discount. I haven't got money. It's $500,000 I owe them, man. Pascal's for Standard Bank is 375,000,
Yeah.
and the Standard Bank is 130,000. I've been paying them every month, like 10 grand a month, until about 8 months ago. I just didn't have the money. I know. I've probably paid them $500,000 just in interest, and I just can't afford it anymore. And I said to them, I just can't afford it. No, you must make payment. I said, well, bugger you. Take me to court.
Okay.
Take me to court. Even the lawyer, she said, okay, make arrangement. So I said, okay, 200 Rand a month. She said, no, that's stupid. I said, well, then thank you. I really can't afford it. I don't have any extra for myself. Business has been tough for the last 2 years, you know. That's why I'm doing this, to try and make extra income. If this works, plus, so you have the 3 channels plus the Christian channel. So I'm just going to get my whisper.
What were your channel ideas again?
One is Donald Trump,
Oh, yeah.
one is the rapture, and one is just conspiracy theories. Okay, and the fourth one is I'm going to preach every day, just about 10 minutes a day, just on my musings of the world on a daily basis, like what's happening, like the kingdom of God, stuff like that.
Cool.
But a lot of Christians don't agree with what I agree with. You know, a lot of people say, Kevin, you're talking heresy. I said, okay. I said, dude, on Facebook, I said, I've been born here for 42 years. You tell me I'm going to hell. Yes.
Who said that?
So I'm on Facebook because I believe in the prosperity message. I said, God wants us successful. No, He doesn't. He wants you to suffer. I said, okay.
Who said that?
What are people on Facebook?
Oh, really?
Then one woman, I've known her for 40 years. She also said to me, Kevin, I used to believe like you until God opened my eyes. I said, was it God? The devil just doesn't want you successful. No, my eyes were open. I said, okay, whatever.
You know, I reckon that a lot of us have actually been mistaken about a lot of things. And I think that's always going to come and go. There's always going to be
Waves,
something new
yeah,
that you'll
exactly,
be mistaken
exactly.
about, and then you'll have a revelation.
You see, there's one scripture, I think it's Ephesians 1:6, where it talks about the different callings of God. Okay? And basically it talks about raising the dead, speaking in tongues, all that kind of stuff. Now, I've raised one person from the dead. I've had a blind person see. I've had a deaf person. I've had a person walk off the wheelchair. So I've seen that out of my own hands. I probably led, I don't know, maybe in the 80s. I've had plenty of people. I've led plenty of people to the Lord, you know, over the years, you know. I mean, I have plenty of people that follow me because I'm just a down to earth guy, you know. They're not going to say, oh, I don't trust you because you swear, you know. They say, Kevin, you make sense because I'm a down to earth gospel. I'm not an angel. I'm down to earth, you know. And as a result, people get to accept Christ. If that's Jesus Christ, then I want part of that.
Yeah.
If you're not trying to be a perfect person, it's God's grace helps you through that.
But yeah, so I think that was going to be my point about us being mistaken as well, is that we can't be perfect. We can't get it all right.
Exactly.
Even if our understanding is wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
I think there's grace for that too.
Of course. But you see, when God looks at us, when we go before the throne, He's not going to say, oh, you were naughty. He says, oh, Jesus, okay, go. The blood of Jesus, and that's all.
Sherman, this I think is protective space.
What's it, eh?
No, it's your bicep, of course. It's your bicep. I mean, I promise I knew I was working on your bicep.
Look at that!
Is this on video now?
That was going to work.
But don't forget it's that shortened part of the muscle now. So you lost one of the tendons. Yeah. So one is still attached to the humerus, but the other one is.
But can you feel it?
It's not bad.
Oh, really?
It's really not bad. Yeah. So it's still in the right place. It is where it's supposed to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just healing. It's got to heal now. The doctor said I've got to see him another 6 weeks now.
Okay.
So I said, does the pain ever go away? He said, yeah. I because it's still sore, you know.
No, give it a
But this
try.
spot is not sore now, the shoulder. I don't know why that is sore. That's why I said to Pascal just the other day, I said, just want the rest, just like have a new body here.
No pain.
No pain.
Oh, so.
So Rowena and I are both born again, and obviously we have different faiths. I mean, like she doesn't believe what I believe
Oh, doesn't
about
she?
grace. She believes in 80% of what I believe. But she believes like you have to work hard, you got to read your Bible, you got to pray every day. And I said, Rowena, you don't need to do that stuff. You must want to do that stuff. You don't need to do that stuff, you know. God's not going to judge you for it. No, that's why. Now I've got some tarot cards at home. Okay.
Do you?
Yeah. That's why your life is a mess. I said, you really believe? I believe in that nonsense. I bought them years ago because I was looking at them to see how.
Really?
Because I was studying them to see if they. People said they come from the church. The church started the tarot cards. So I bought them to have a look at them. And I've still got them at home. I've also got angel cards at home, you know. I told my boss, I said, that's fine, Kevin. There's no curse on them. But Robin says, and because you're a gypsy, that's why you got the extra curse. I said, oh, please, man. Because gypsies and tarot cards, you know, fortune teller.
Isn't your dad a fortune teller?
Yeah.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. I thought of telling fortune to make some money. So my cousin said to me, no, Kevin, you're too honest for that. So I said, yeah, I can just preach the gospel to them and make them think that it's their fortune. You know? Says, no, you can't do that, Kevin, you're too honest. Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Sorry.
What is that you're pressing on me now?
It's your collarbone, but there's some tissue right underneath the collarbone. It's not directly to do with your surgery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's more just tension
Oh,
and
okay.
tightness that we're feeling. So it's like the muscle there called subclavius.
Underneath the clavia,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. I should become a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't smart enough. There's a young Muslim boy that goes to gym with me, the youngster.
Mm.
He's in the third year varsity this year, I'm a doctor.
Mm.
But you know, they don't have to write exams anymore.
What?
You got 60%, so I don't have to write exams anymore.
Are you sure?
Yeah. He said, no, I finished in November. I said, I didn't write exams. He said, no, I've got 60%, I don't need to.
That's weird.
He said, but third year they started in January, beginning of January. He said, no, at the end of the year, if your marks are over 60%, you don't have to write exams. I said, that's probably why the VITS exams and VITS medical aren't accepted overseas anymore.
Oh, is it?
Since 94.
I didn't know
I was surprised. He said, no, if you study for exams, you don't have to write your end of year exams if your marks are over 60%. So I said, oh, okay. I haven't seen him this year. I saw him at the beginning of the year when it just started. So I want to ask him if anyone's dropped out yet. Because he said this year's more pharmacology. You know what the... Okay, I think I've told you before. You know what the Latin word for pharmacist is?
I think you have told me.
Pharmacia. And the direct translation is witchcraft.
So don't you tell me things like you have told me that before.
No, witchcraft.
I'm fine now. Just my leg size, thank you.
The shoulder.
Yeah.
Do you want to just put your hands on top of the bed?
Ah,
Like that. Is that comfy?
it's fine.
Okay.
Must have a haircut was sometime.
Oh, you gave up on the growing hair for...
No, but I'm too old for it. I'm balding in the front. And you know, every single time I have a haircut, you know how many compliments I get? Kevin, you look so much better with short hair.
Actually, I'm sure I've said that to
Yes,
you
I think so.
before
I get it all the time. Keep the short hair, you look so much better. You look so much nicer. You look so much younger. When I was younger, I say my 30s and 40s, I get thousands of compliments all the time. So I'm used to compliments, you know. But when you don't get the compliments, it hurts you. Because when you're young, you get so many compliments, and as you get older, they stop.
Oh, shame. Sorry, Kevin.
I told you the only reason I really don't want to live with my brother's my mom. Like,
Yeah, you did say that.
she's going to die soon.
Have you heard how she is in the
No, I
hospital?
haven't. You know, she turns 94 this year,
Oh, wow.
and she's and people still comment on how beautiful she is.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, that's all there you go. That's it. Oh. Can you feel when you do that?
Most of the time, yeah. Yeah.
It's like a twist. You know something you do it. Please go.
Shins, nice little tight spot on the muscle. But you definitely rely on what people say, like, oh yeah, I can feel that there. Your fingers do know the difference sometimes.
You can feel it. Okay, so
Sorry, are you managing?
mm-hmm.
So Pascal, I can't come up with the right word. It's more like your side of the family. Because she looks like you.
Yes, I think so.
Does she look like your mom?
Well, she from the nose down.
Okay.
Got Robina's face. Down. The teeth, the mouth.
Okay. And eyes?
I think she's more like me on upper body.
Okay.
I think generally body she's a less than more like me.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah,
That definitely
yeah,
looks.
yeah.
You guys look this.
And I think
Nice, eh?
temperament she's like me.
Okay.
In character she's like my sister, believe it or not.
Oh, yes, you said that last week.
So yesterday they were talking to her, you know, and I was saying, well, Pascal was there. And I said, Pascal's a real Montez, you know. She's and a Kelly.
What is her maiden name?
Kelly.
Kelly.
Kelly,
Ewa. Okay.
So I said to her, actually, hey, the little Kelly. I said, the probably only part of Kelly is the manic depressive part.
Shame, man. Oh, shame. Does Rena also battle?
Yeah, Rowena is very bad. I think that's one of the good reasons we got divorced. Couldn't handle the depression. Just couldn't every day, and I'd come. You know, she never worked. I would make decent money, I'd come home and she'd just spend all the money.
Yeah.
And clothes and makeup and perfume and whatever, you know. And food and so she would always be depressed. I said, I don't know why you're depressed. I would come home at 1 o'clock to get something to eat and she'd still be in bed. And I said, no, this is wrong. And then when I left the company and we started working together, it was one backfill after the other. You know, we did landscape together and interior decorating together, you know.
Oh,
So I would do all the costings and the purchasing, and she would do the designs. So I'll take the design and work out all the costings, you see. So for instance, like you wanted 10 tulips, okay? And my buying price for a tulip was £3 each. And it would cost me $30. I charged the client $100, you see.
Yep.
But then when we go and buy them, we buy them say 2 for 1. Okay? So instead of buying like 5, okay, bunches, she'd buy 20. Because it's 2 for 1. So I said, no, don't give the saving to the client, give it to us. She said, no, it looks so much nicer with more flowers. So we'd fight continually by giving the benefit to the client. So at the end of the day, we make a very little profit, and she couldn't see the problem with that. And then when we went to court to get divorced, she said she's the boss and she's running the company. And I thought, okay, if you believe that, then it's fine. Then she married a guy named Raymond. He was an artist. He was the biggest dickhead that one ever met in her life. I have no idea why she married him. Anyway, he beat her up and then she divorced him. And then she met this guy named Mark. And then Mark started hitting her around. But Mark wouldn't give her any money. So every time they did a job, he'd take the money. And he'd give her an allowance. And now she's lonely.
And happier.
I don't know. It's something I don't know. You can't tell us really. She never smiled. She's never laughed. You can tell her joke, she'll look you straight in the face. With a straight face. So I said to her, smile, smile. You know? Goodness of God makes a man attractive, you know. Because God is good. I've got so much on my mind. I said, it doesn't matter how much you've got on your mind. Keep your heart happy. You know? And she would say, oh, but I'm manic depressed. I said, that's the chemicals in your body. Because the Bible says good medicine, a good laugh is like a good medicine. Well, a happy heart is like a good medicine. But, see, those scriptures don't pertain to her. You know? It's only worry, pain, sorrow, be horrible, be nasty. Life is a battle. So I thought, oh, that's a, if I'm going to have enough money, then they just come live with me and have a nice life. Which man would do that normally?
Will you ask her again?
Yeah, in fact, look, I'm just waiting to see if I make money. I will ask her again eventually. I said, but want to come? Then I phoned her son. I said, just try and see what you can do about your papers. Eric, want to do that? I said, just fill out the papers.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, can Pascal get citizenship because of her gran?
Yes,
Okay.
after 5 years.
Oh, okay. So she needs to stay there.
Yeah, would you believe 1 year's already up almost, eh? So it's another 4 years,
Yeah.
and then after 5 years.
What, did she leave in May?
Yeah, so it's April, May already.
My word.
So May,
Time's flying.
yeah, so in May it's 4 years left, and then after the 5th year she has to apply, and then she's got 2 years to apply for citizenship. But she has to prove that she's worked in those 5 years.
Okay.
So you can't be a bum. You can't live with dad. She has to work.
Oh, shame.
Then you get what they call indefinite leave to remain. ILR. That means you can get the same benefits as everything, and then you get your citizenship.
Okay.
She's loving it. She is loving it.
That's good.
I think because, like she says, Amazon's her best friend. She buys everything from Amazon, and it's next day delivery, so.
It's not quite a foreign concept for us. Hey?
I know we don't have that here, I know.
I mean, I think Yappy Chef and Faithful to Nature will deliver in 3 days.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
that's still quite exciting.
Exactly. Yeah. But you know, there's this new vegetable thing I found online,
Yeah.
and it's like a vegetable shake. Okay, but it's got all the best vitamins inside it, and it's dehydrated, whatever. You know?
What's it called?
It's called Organifull.
Organifull.
But it's called green something or other.
Not the green vibrance.
No, you can't get it in Africa, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it was, but like if you buy 6 months in advance, it comes to like $400. So like 6,000 rand for 6 months.
6,000 rand.
But it's but it's so powerful. The organics in there are just fantastic. And we don't get in South Africa. And just ship it down because it's too expensive.
I know you get something called green vibrance, which I'm sure is also about 1,000 rand.
Absolutely.
Like a gesturing behind your back, like a tall sort of
Okay.
tub.
I've got this one called green something or other, which I bought also. And that's got the wheatgrass, barley grass.
Yes, yeah.
Echinacea, what do you call that stuff?
Yeah, the echinacea.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But apparently that's also very good
Yeah.
for you.
But that's got, I think it's got half of what the other one's got.
Oh, really?
This was only like 300 rand a month. But that also doesn't taste nice. So I mix it with my breakfast shake and my protein shake. I put in my smoothie with my blackberries.
It's always the problem with stuff that's good for you. It doesn't taste nice. Like broccoli.
Oh no. Oh. Are you ever on YouTube?
No, not often. It's always just incidental. So I don't purposefully go on to go look for any one in particular, or yeah, it's usually incidental. But I often end up Googling how to do something or
Okay.
how to make something, and then I look at YouTube videos. It's like how do you like create? Because you have to create a presence, I suppose. Hey?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, that's basically. You gotta make, and then you just invite people to friend you, and then they're gonna recommend you to friends, and then you just get out there.
Via Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but also from other sources. You know?
Okay.
And then the more subscribers you get, the more views you get, the more money you make.
Okay. I think I'm considered a millennial in terms of
Yeah, your age.
age
Yes.
and economy
yeah,
and
yeah.
that sort of thing. But not really fully understandable. But what I know for sure is that I'm definitely still got some of that previous generation that doesn't, like it still amazes me
Yeah.
that you can have
Well,
a
like you-
career on Instagram.
Yeah. See, like you and Alec are the same age. You were born in '83.
Yeah.
You're the same as Alec, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Alec thinks different to Tara as well. And there's 2 years
Tara's
difference.
younger.
Tara is younger, yeah. Tara is 2 years younger, or 3 years. Tara was born in '86. And you got the difference, complete difference. And I've got friends who homeschool their kids.
Yeah.
And also, those kids are completely different to the other millennials. So they weren't brainwashed by the education department.
So, I'm sure it'll be very different. I remember that, like growing up, there was one particular family in our area that they were all homeschooled, and we just thought they were so weird.
Yes.
Shame, and I mean, it might not have been, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But in, like in our perspective at that
Yeah,
time, they really
yeah.
were.
Have you heard of low rockies?
Yes, what is that?
You know, I wouldn't say cult, it's like a religious movement, you know.
But like women.
You know, they have to cover their heads and all that kind of stuff, you know. Now, when I got born again, I belonged to one of those type of churches. Women had to cover their heads and they had to have a veil and all kind of stuff in church. And then when I changed churches, my church excommunicated me. I started going to
Really?
Rhema.
Like, thank you.
I started going to Rhema because I said after I got born again. I got born again in '77, and in '78, and in '79 I didn't go to a church. '81 I was in America.
Okay.
So when I came back in '82, I was looking for. I don't know if I ever told you this testimony. I lived in a hotel. I was working in a hotel. I lived in a hotel,
Yeah.
and I was sitting one Sunday night. I was sitting just watching. Well, there wasn't. I think in those days there wasn't much TV. It was like 2 hours a night. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting, and I heard this neighbor come home, and they had just come from this church called Rhema. Okay.
Yeah.
So in the morning, I said to her, "Sorry, I overheard you talking about this Rhema." She said, "Kevin, it was the most beautiful evening she's ever had."
Yeah.
So I said, "How do you spell Rhema?" She said, "R-H-E-M-A." So I left there. About 2 months later, I left,
Yeah.
and I moved into back with my mom.
Do you know your heels got better?
But I had them done yesterday.
Well
Yeah,
done.
no, no.
Okay.
So I went to the telephone book and I looked up Rhema and it said P.O. Box so-and-so Santon. So I didn't have a car.
Yeah.
So I said, well, let me go there. So I started walking and hitching to Santon. Okay. 6 o'clock that night, I found myself outside Rhema as church began.
Oh.
Rhema is in Randburg, not Santon. And as soon as I walked into the door, the Lord said to me audibly, "Welcome home."
Huh?
I looked around, there was nobody standing because church had just begun.
Huh.
And I saw Rabbit calling walking. I said, who does this guy think he is? He's got like 6 security guards. One guy carries his Bible. I said, who does this guy think he is? Then we had the praise and worship. I fell in love with the praise and worship. I thought, this is awesome. And then people started falling down around me. So what the heck's going on here?
Yeah.
So when we finished, I asked the guy, what happened? So they explained to me. So I said, when's the youth? So they said the Friday night. So I hitched to the youth on the Friday night.
Yeah.
And I made a friend that he could take, thereafter he gave me lifts. So Friday night was youth, Saturday night was intercession prayer, Sunday morning was church. So I'd sit outside the church for the whole day and wait for the evening service. Monday night was basic concepts, Tuesday night was practical ministries,
Yeah.
Wednesday was was church, Thursday was Holy Spirit evening. So I went to go 7 days a week. I went to church
Oh
for
wow.
like 2 years.
Wow.
Then I was at Bible college
Yeah.
for a year, and then I was a home cell leader.
And it's all here, hey, down the
Yeah,
road.
all at Rhema. And then I got married. And then one day after I got married, I think Pascal was born, I'm not sure if he was. And I was sitting at church and the Lord said, it's time to say goodbye. I looked at Pascal, I looked at Pascal crying. And everybody said, why are you crying? I said, the Lord just told me to leave the church.
To leave Raymond.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he told me which church to go to as well. So I went there for another 2 years. And then we got divorced.
Oh.
And then one day I was at shops and I met my pastor Tasso. And he said, I've just started a new church. So he told me about it. So I said, okay. And then I went to gym one day and I met another guy and he said, Kevin, come to this church. I said, oh, that's Tasso's church. He said, yes, that's Tasso's church. So I started going to that church. That was 15 years ago.
Wow. Where is that one? 'Cause
Well,
that's
they know
church-
where. They know he's somewhere down. He has a church on a Tuesday night. Then Saturday morning they have a follow-up. It's down Taurus Avenue somewhere.
Taurus Avenue.
It's Sundowner.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But he doesn't have a service on a Saturday. What is he has the sermon on a Tuesday, but he gives you homework.
Okay.
So you're going to come home so you're going to come back on Saturday, and tell how your week was with that doing the homework. So it's more like a practical church.
Okay.
But I've never been invited.
Do you have to be invited?
No, not necessarily. But it's never said to you come when you come to church. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of people don't like me there because I'm too loud spoken. Like the one person was saying, what was the biggest argument about? I had a big argument with what was it? What was it? I don't remember what it was. There's a big argument about the Lord's will. Okay, what is the Lord's will?
Yeah.
I said, the Lord's will is your will. And she said, no, God will direct you separate. I said, no, God does. God wants you to live your life the best you want to live your life, and He'll honor it. And we had a big argument about, oh no, you have to. So you don't to agree with me at the end of the day, you know?
Huh?
Because you can do what you want and God will honor it. Like Rowena Philippines says, no, you got to wait for God to tell you what to do. I said, no, that's not true.
You can turn onto your back again, please.
So God will just honor whatever you do for life.
Sorry, the left one.
The right one.
The right one.
She said, God will tell you, God will just honor God will honor you. Whatever you do, God will say, yes, it's blessed, you're blessed. Because you're a child of God.
Your shoulders.
They're fine.
Okay.
Just as left one content, but it's fine.
Let me try strap you again anyway, if you don't
Okay.
mind. If they come off, they come off.
Okay.
It's fine. But even if it's just for half
Because
a
what
day.
happened was when I got into the bed, the tape, I stuck it to their hair.
Oh, shame.
It was sore.
Shame.
So then
Do
she's
you want
just.
me to leave it?
No, that's help.
Okay.
It does help.
Okay.
So just a bit.
Because it's just a nice little comfort.
Yeah, no, it does help.
Yeah. I don't know if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
Give me 2 seconds.
Okay, thanks.
I'll be there now.
Ouch.
How do you scrub over the audio? Like, is
Well,
it
on
just a function?
the computer, it's video then audio.
Oh.
Separate, it gives it splits it up.
Oh, okay.
So then you just lower the volume. I can put music. I'll put a music track over it.
Okay.
So we'll just play music in the background.
Cool.
So what I do is I
face
just
is definitely there. Hey.
Yeah.
You can see it.
So I just lower the volume and then I just put music behind it.
Okay. Nice.
And then I might just talk over it, put some monologue over it, you know,
Yeah.
just to get the views.
Okay.
And then then that's fine. Because then what I do is once it's approved, I just delete the video. So because it's a private video, no one's really going to watch it, you know. And then I get monetized. Then I just download the other videos and start editing them and putting them.
So it's not worth it to have these videos now be your actual content.
No, I can't. This would be nothing. This is don't want to watch this. No, only
Okay.
no one will watch this.
So it's not like I don't even know.
I'm not trying like chronicles. I'm not chronicling anything. I just look. I could if I had a proper angle, then I could say yes. This is what a treatment looked like. You know, we could do that. You know? But
yeah.
this is just to get the hour.
Okay, that's interesting. So this is a way of establishing that you're legit or you're a real person.
This is a way to get my viewing hours in, because you cannot become monetized until you get 4,000 hours
Oh, okay.
and 1,000 subscribers.
Huh.
So 4,000 hours
Yeah.
is 2,000 times if it's a 2-hour video. If it's an hour video, it's 4,000 hours. If it's a half an hour video, it's 8,000 half an hour
so
videos.
much.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So you have to do something like a few times a day.
Well, just to get this, I've got the 1 hour. This will be. So I'm going to try and do this 2-hour video,
Yeah.
so it'll speed up the process.
Yeah.
So 2,000. So there are only 2,000 people watching the full 2 hours.
Okay.
Then it's 4,000 hours.
Shoot.
And I've got to get 1,000 subscribers.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can send me a link for that if that'll help you. Just so you know that I'm not really going to know what I'm doing.
Okay, you want this one? Okay.
No. A link for
Just to watch, to see what it.
to like be a subscriber.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Of the four, they got.
Because I definitely don't subscribe to anything or anyone.
Yeah, I've got a lot of. There's so many Christian ones that I follow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Donald Trump ones I follow.
Okay.
There's this one politician guy. I love him. Too because he's 74 years old. His name is Dick Morris.
Yeah.
He used to work for Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Then he worked for Hillary Clinton. Then he became a Republican.
Oh yeah.
He's a huge Trump supporter.
Yeah.
And now he's a born again Christian.
Huh.
And he every day he gives like a 3-minute talk about what's happening in politics in America.
Because I just think anyone really understands.
And he's so wise. I mean, I listen to this guy talks to show such wisdom in what he was talking about, you know.
Yeah.
Like he says, he also knows British politics as well. He says, you know, whenever you have like a liberal parliament, he says you'll always have a conservative that will run twice as long as the liberal, because the world doesn't really like liberals. It's only a small minority, but how's this? Listen to this figure: 78% under the age of 34.
78%. Yeah.
Under the age of 34, want socialist governments.
Really?
Because of all the bullshit they get in school. 78% of people under the age of 34 want a socialist government.
Huh.
So when Donald Trump gets voted next year, obviously 78% of the 34%, he won't get the young vote unless he does something that's going to change their mind. Well, God did interview last time. You know?
What happened last time?
Well, when Donald Trump just wiped Hillary away. But now, it's been 4 years later, and his kids grew up with Donald Trump, and the hatred, and the CNN, and the bullshit. They hate Donald Trump. I mean, I was chatting to a young girl, and I said, why do you hate Donald Trump? He's a sexist. I said, no, it's not. He's a misogynist. I said, no, it's not. Oh, he hates Muslims. No, he doesn't. It's all lies from CNN, you see. And they listen to the news.
Yeah. I must say, the last few years, I mean, across the board, definitely American politics, but us here also, you can actually just see how what we know is based on what the media tells us.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly.
So what you know and what you think
is wrong. It's different.
Is like
you're programmed.
You have
believe,
to question everything.
Exactly. That's why I watch YouTube. I just watch all the stuff on YouTube. That's all I do. I download and I hear what's going on. The facts. There's another guy called Tim Pool, which I actually just joined him. And he's that guy, like 28 years old. And he hits the truth down the line. He's not a huge Trump supporter. He says, but these liberals are causing rubbish. And he's the one that came up with this stat of 78% of people under the age of 34 support socialism. He says, how scary is that? He says, by next year it'll be maybe 85%. Because they're growing younger, so 18 voting. They want to drop the age of voting to 16 in America. But obviously they'll never do it.
Yeah,
because it's got to pass the Senate. But how stupid are they? Because they want the kids, they want to brainwash the kids in school so they can vote liberalism. I also heard today that the babies that you can give birth and kill your baby at birth. What they do is they don't kill the baby. They tell the mother they've killed the baby. They take the baby and they grow it for 2-3 weeks, and then they take the organs and then they sell the organs. A live baby's worth $500,000. Whereas a dead baby's only worth $15,000. They take in the baby, they're growing them in the room, letting them grow, and they just cut them out for the heart, to load the kidney, whatever. This is the world we're living in.
It's turning on its head.
It's so bad. It's bad, eh? It's very bad. It's very bad.
You're right. Okay. Are you getting? No, you have to wait with your arm a bit longer. Are you getting back into gym?
Yeah, I wanted to start today. I just didn't wait, but I wanted to just want to do cardio. I can't do weights because this I have to wait for 2. He said 2 months, another 2 months, and also my knees I can't do legs either. So I just waited 2 months.
Can you do hand curls?
I don't know if I can do it. I'm not sure. Should I try that? Yeah, try the hand curls. Yeah, that's a good
Because
idea.
it shouldn't be that much pressure on the knees. Yeah.
That's a good idea. So I can't do calves because they're still sore. The calves are still sore. Did you do calves? I didn't do calves today.
No, I didn't.
I didn't do calves today. So because I can't do the hamstring curls.
It's not onto your back. I can do something.
Onto my back.
Yeah, face up. Sorry, Kevin. I'm gonna throw that here.
How much washing do you do a day?
Kevin, it is my world. Washing. Actually, I don't mind it so much. I love like taking chaos and turning.
Oh, okay. You think, oh, that's, I like that. I like that energy. Turning chaos into order.
Yeah. I don't know. Even when it's raining, like obviously, like at the end of the day and overnight, then I hang everything on these like railings.
Oh yeah.
No, I do love it.
I had a fight with my maid today because I've got this young girl that's moved into the flat. My maid, yeah.
Oh, you made. Okay.
So this young girl moved in. So she said, she said to me, do you think I can charge this maid, this lady to watch the dog washing? I said, excuse me?
See how you go, and
Yeah.
based on how you're feeling, I don't know. I don't think you need me again just yet.
Okay, I don't think so.
Okay, I don't know.
I know it's a lot of your money, but
Don't stress
sort you
about
out,
that.
okay.
Don't stress about that, Kevin. No, please don't worry.
Because I still want to ask you about your website. Let me do your website for you.
I'm no rude.
Yeah.
Kevin, I'm no rude. I'm not rude.
Do you have enough clients? Do you need more clients?
Not really. Yeah.
Because everyone always asks me, Kevin, where's your physio? And I said, I'll give you the number, but I don't think she can handle this. Because I know she's busy.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you need more, because you need more, because often everyone asks me.
Oh,
Because
shit.
I'm obviously at a gym, you know, everyone shares with me, you know. So,
Yeah.
my physio, you know.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I must admit, I don't actually know how to answer you right now.
Okay.
Because
Because if you get a website, obviously I'll do everything for you. I'll do the hosting, I'll do everything. And then I'll do the SEO. So people can say physio in Bromhof, you know, then you click the link and they can find you here.
okay.
That's the reason I want to do it for you. So you can make it more business.
Thank you.
But you don't-
Yeah, you see, I know it sounds cheeky to say, but we also know where it comes from. So I don't actually need to market myself.
Okay.
And I never have had to. And then on the other hand, I'm also nervous to put myself out there.
Okay.
Because I like having people who come with a referral.
Very up with you.
Because
You know where they come from.
Yeah. Like our gym trainer, every now and then he comes to me and he's sent a few people, and then
Okay.
people say, okay, I got your number from there.
Oh,
And I say,
okay.
no, that's fine. But every now and then he looks at me and he says, we've got pepper spray Beltiers. I'm like, what? And he's just so worried.
Sure. I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You see, I don't want to have
Because
to
you're a
think
girl.
about
Oh,
that.
wow. Yeah.
So I don't want to have to think in,
Worry
that,
about, yeah.
in that way.
Yeah.
You know, so I prefer to know who's walking in and where they come from.
Okay, yeah, with you.
You know, that,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, shame that I totally forgot about that. I'm so sorry, Kevin. Thank you.
No, that's cool. Also, so I just wanted the practice to build a website as well.
Oh, shame.
Because when I go to the UK, I can say I can literally design a website, you know.
Yeah.
But I've never done any for anybody, any client other than myself, you know. Never
right,
had to.
I was
Anyone say,
gonna say.
like I said to Tara, let me design your website. No, I can do it myself.
Oh,
I said, well, let me just do. I want to design a website just to see what it looks like, you know.
Yeah,
You
good
get clients,
practice.
so a client can say, yes, Kevin, no, don't like that, you know. Because I need practice. Because if I go to the UK, I can charge £1,000 a website. You know,
Yeah.
so if I take 2 or 3 a month, that's £3,000 already.
Yeah.
I do the hosting myself because I wouldn't pay for my own hosting. I've got my own hosting company.
Oh,
I didn't figure that out.
maybe you did.
I've got my own hosting. I do my own hosting. I pay £25 for like 15 websites. So I don't pay anything for it. It's all mine.
That's very cool. So I mean, I've chatted to Vickers about it too, because he's a programmer.
Oh, okay,
And
yes.
he's
okay.
like, look at your website here. I'm like, hang on. So I don't know if I need one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
No, look, I've had the firewalking, okay,
Yeah.
which was a very back in the day, which was very basic. And even though it's so basic, I still get referrals. You know, even
Amazing.
every couple
But
of
you
months.
haven't done it for years.
I haven't done it now. I'm going to put the close shops. Because what's the point? I'm not making any money from it. So I'm just going to put it on my website. But I don't want the other guys to take my website.
Oh, that's so
The firewalker.co.za. I don't want to take my name. It's the name, you know. They want them to buy from me. So give me 2,000 rand for the name. You know, that's what I'm going to say. You want the name? Give me 2,000 rand. Almost going to do that job. But I'm going to phone them and say, listen, guys, I'm leaving the country. You want my domain name? You can get it. Just pay me for it.
It's a nice one.
Well, I've got firewalkers, fire dash walking, firewalkers. I've got 4 of them. I've taken them all, and they all go to the one website.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, that's clever.
Just because I just stole the name. That's a dude. They all got cross
You
with me.
didn't steal them.
Well, exactly.
They were
Exactly.
there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they say, you've taken all that. So what's your point?
That's so funny.
Like my sister used
How
to
many guys are out there who are doing that?
Well, lots now.
Oh,
There's lots. Probably in Joburg about 30, 40 now. Joburg, yeah. But if you go, I still come up.